Who are the financial planners in that people? It's a lot of money, right?
Yep.
That's just the Asian group, okay? Let's look at Latinos. By the way, Latinos, and we're talking, some of them are immigrants, a lot of them are not. A lot of them are born in the United States. The number of Latinos in the United States today, it's about 50 million. Okay, what is the population of the United States? We're just north of 300 million. So what is that, about 15%? 15% of the population. If we're not paying attention to that demographic, I think it's foolish. Okay? A little higher than Asians, 1.4 trillion. What's the GDP of the United States? About 13, 14 trillion. It's 1.4 trillion. Okay, so that there's a lot of buying power there. It would be nice if the buying power could increase by helping people to legalize if they qualify under the law. They can get better wages when they're not working in the shadows. Okay, well that's the United States. What about in Illinois? Okay, this is what I call the Star Wars effect. Sorry, I'm in the way there. Number of Latino businesses, about 40,000. Buying power, 7.4 billion. Number of jobs, that's a good word, 61,000. Add in the Asian group, and we're looking at 84,000 businesses for about 160,000 jobs, and a big economic impact. Okay, so immigrants do matter. They should matter to us. And then just coming back full circle here, and there's Martha. There's Martha and the kids. She's able to now she has a Social Security number. Before she didn't work, she didn't drive. He used to force her to get groceries in the middle of winter, go walk. Now she's self-sufficient. She's got a work permit. She's here lawfully. She's working lawfully. The kids, this daughter also is in a similar situation as her, and she's enrolling in the community college, in Wabansi College, to study nursing. So really changed the life of these individuals.
Where's the husband?
Where's the husband? In jail.
Yeah. He shouldn't.
Right? I mean, hell, you would, the kinds of stories that we have, people being, spouses, children being kept in tool sheds, and this happening in our midst. Okay, not to give you the impression that Martha's down in Aurora, she's far away, because there are many more like Martha right here close to home. So we work closely with law enforcement because they're the first ones to see that somebody needs help. We work closely with the domestic violence shelters as well. Again, it's about people, starts with the people, ends with the people. So I would be happy to talk about I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have two questions.
Yes.
Where did you get the name BENNU?
Yes, I'm sorry, I should tell you that.
Do you rely solely on donations and contributions?
Another good question. So first, the answer to the first one, BENNU is the phoenix bird. It's the Egyptian word for the phoenix bird. Phoenix is kind of taken. So BENNU is the name that we chose to build our brand around. And it's a very apropos symbol because it's a symbol of new beginnings. People coming out of the ashes and building their lives again. The second question, where do we get funding? Legal aid, when we're doing pro bono and low bono legal aid, we have to make up the difference somewhere to keep the lights on. So we do that through fundraising. We do it through private donations, through corporate sponsorships. In fact, we're having a golf outing. I brought some literature about that on August 5th, which is a nice opportunity to have fun. We got a private golf course to give us a Friday, which is the first time in their 100-year history that they've done this. So it's at Glen Flora. So it's a nice course. We'll be able to take a look at that. Let me know.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If the mom is illegal and
Mhm.
she has children, are the kids legal?
Yes. The United States follows two types of law. One is called law of the blood, and the other is called law of the soil for transmitting citizenship by birth. So somebody born on U.S. soil is automatically a U.S. citizen. Of the undocumented population, there are about, some people say, well, why don't we just deport them all? There are about 11 million or so. About half of them have overstayed a visa, half of them have come across originally legally. So about 11 million, 4 million children. 4 million children that have one or both parents who are undocumented. So if we were to deport all of them, we'd have 4 million U.S. citizens that we have to figure out how to take care of. Yeah, so, good question. I do, so you're sort of opening the door for me to
Oh,
talk about immigration law.
it worked out well, right?
Yeah, thanks, yeah, here. No, I do teach immigration law over at College of Lake County in the paralegal program, so if you are really passionate about the subject, please come and learn more. I've made it into a clinic where we handle cases, actual cases, like Martha's. So, other questions?
So is the process for actually legalizing, as it started, because there was kind of a bottleneck before they loosened it, there was that period where they kind of like started to push that process. Now it's become more bottleneck, and then, I mean, what are they doing with that? Because there's obviously banking,
Yeah.
a lot. But they
Yeah.
know it's a trust factor, so they
Yeah.
can sit down with the client and know the banking rep. I pretty much can tell, hey, they'll just say, yeah, whatever. But how are they, because almost by, they're thinking their memo just by default because they have kids here, that makes it happen to them.
Yeah.
So like, are they like working to like fix that?
You make a lot of great points. First of all, having kids who are U.S. citizens does not guarantee anybody that they could stay here. I've had many deportation cases that I defend people from deportation if they're good people. A lot of people that I meet are hardworking, faith-filled. They're the kind of people that I really like as neighbors. There are elements that are not that way. There are criminal elements in any population. There have been studies that show that there is no higher incidence of criminality in the immigrant population than there is in the native-born population. So, the process. Let's say I'm from the Philippines and I want to sponsor. I originally came from there, but now I'm a U.S. citizen. All the families here, I even brought mom and dad over. I got that one brother left over there, and I want to bring him over. So I kick off this thing, a petition form, which is the first step. Now between the petition, there's a quota, and the quota is there's high demand, limited supply, so there's a wait before he can get to the second step. So in that two-step process, he's got to wait. So what would be a reasonable amount of time for my brother, or for I, to wait to be unified here in the United States? How much time would be reasonable? A month? Okay.
6 months.
6 months? Okay. The wait is actually 23 years. 23 years between the first step and the second step for somebody from the Philippines to bring my brother over. So it's generational. It's huge. I can see why, immigration laws become very, very restrictive. I can see why some people might be tempted to try to circumvent it. I'm not saying that that's appropriate. But I do hear sometimes people say, well, why can't they just all come legally like my great-grandparents did? My great-grandmother, to come legally, she got on a boat in Hamburg. She sailed across and she got off the boat. They did a precursory medical exam. She was legal. That was it.
But even back then, there were quotas.
Even back then there were quotas. But now, restriction upon restriction has been added. So that's right. So it has become very difficult. It's become to the point where people actually need, unfortunately, to use an attorney to get through the process correctly. So, ITINs are a good thing for people to have. Does everyone know what an ITIN is? Individual tax identification number.